Hello and welcome to another SimpleIndex training video. In this video we're looking at a feature that's new in version 11.5, and that's the ability to email the contents of a folder, i.e. the files in a folder, to various recipients. We have a job here that is going to look at some files in a folder. Let's take a look. So we have 3 files in this folder, and they're going to A company, B incorporated, C limited. What this job is going to do is load in those files, and based on that file name, A company, it's going to pull up that vendor. That's the first part of the file name, and then it's got an email recipient that's going to look up from a database. We'll take a look at that in a second. And then also you have body and subject, and likewise you can also have things like CC and BCC, the things that you would normally have in an email. And it's very important that you make your field names match those email operators. Let's take a look at the configuration here. If we go down to the indexing and file naming, we can see we've got exactly that. I used a fixed field for my vendor, and it's just taking the very first part of that file name, the first thing before the dash. That's going to be the vendor name. It's going to use an autofill to go look at my database. Let's take a look at that database real quick. And when it finds that vendor, A company for example, it's going to go across to the vendor email column and bring in that vendor's email. So we're setting this up using an autofill, which is something you can learn about in some of our other videos if you're not familiar with it. Then we have 2 fixed fields here where we have the body, and we've just typed in some text here. Just find attached our sales tax certificates for the current year. And then we have another fixed field. It's the subject sales tax certificates. That's what the contents of those files are in this case. And then the other important part of this is we have to go into our file output settings, and we're going to go into the advanced settings, and you'll see there's now an email files option, which wasn't there in earlier versions. If you hit set, you simply go in here, put in your email server, the username, and then the password, which will be an app password that's going to come from that email provider, whether it be Yahoo, Gmail, Outlook, that sort of thing. As you can see here, you just have to have field names that indicate the CC, the BCC, the subject, and the body, as I mentioned before. So let's cancel out of here and just take a look at it when we run the job. And as you can see, we've got 3 documents over here. The one for A company, the one for B incorporated, the one for C limited, and we've pulled in the certificates for them, and we've loaded in the email address, and we have our body here, and we have our subject line here, just as we saw back in the configuration settings. And if I save that one, you'll see that the next one's B incorporated, Jim at B company being the email address, same body text, same subject text. And then we've got the C limited here, and we've loaded in an email address there. And then again, that's doing that autofill that we discussed. When we save this out, at the export step of saving this out, that's going to send an email to each of these various vendors. Now, these are just fake names here, so I'm not actually going to send real emails in this job, but I just wanted you to go through and see how this is set up. It's pretty easy setup. You just have to have index fields that correspond to the email operators, to body and subject in this case. And then you also, we're doing an autofill lookup here, so we have to have at least one field that we can use to match our documents to the database and figure out the other pieces of information that we need to pull from that database, in this case the actual recipient of the email. And then you just have to make sure that your email provider is included in the email settings of the file output. This is a really straightforward one. I hope that helps out a lot. If we have any questions, please contact us at support. We're always here to help. Thanks for watching.